No, that's the exact same. Never doubt. What are we doing? Thank you.
We welcome to the platform the Colorado State University Rams. A couple of reminders. First of all, please turn off your cell phones or mute them so that we do not have any distractions. And secondly, a reminder to the media that this year the locker rooms and the individual interview areas are closed. So make sure if you have questions for the student athletes or the coach that you get them asked here while they're on the platform. Lydia will have a microphone. She'll move throughout the crowd, and we ask you to please identify yourself and who you represent. We will have the opening statements come from the coach, then we'll ask questions of the student athletes. They will be dismissed, and then we'll finish up with the questions for the coach. So with that, we ask, Coach, please, your opening statements.
Proud of our guys for finding a way to win. We kind of par for the course, right? You look at the first two games today, came down to the last possession. We just didn't want to feel left out, right, today. And, you got to give a lot of credit to Utah State. That's a terrific team. And you look at the depth of our league, and they've got really good players. They're well coached, and we knew they came ready to play today. And but our guys dug in. They found a way to make enough plays down the stretch, and they've been in these games all year, and they never got rattled. And hey, sometimes in this time of the year, you just got to find a way to make one more play than your opponent, and that's what we did, and survive and advance. And we look forward to the semis tomorrow night.
We have questions for our student athletes, Isaiah Stevens and David Roddy.
Mike Brohart from CSU Rams. Isaiah, you'd gotten 2 big buckets on drives down the stretch. When you went back the third time, were you thinking pass, thinking that Utah State would close on you harder?
I was just trying to be aggressive and get downhill. So once I started to see the defense rotate over, we have a design cut when that happens, and I was just able to find an open man for a layup.
David, is that one of the biggest charges you think you've seen one of your teammates take this year when Kendall got that on Justin after that turnover?
Yeah, it was huge. Actually, I think 2 guys were trying to set a charge. So when I was trailing back, I was just thinking in my head, someone please set a charge. Because they didn't seem like they wanted a 3. So and they had a lot of time left on the clock. So, that's a huge charge from Mook, and we need him to take a lot more. So it's taking about 4 years for that.
Even he took one today. How about that? Good Lord, what's going on? Yeah.
For both players, Pat Forty from Sports Illustrated, what's it been like to go through this season with as many close, high-level games as you all have endured?
Man, it's great. It's what we needed for this moment right here. A similar one-possession game. We won some, we lost some. So for us to be in those big games, over the season in the non-conference as well as in the conference, it definitely prepares us well for this tournament and whatever tournament we'll be in next.
Carson with the Collegian. Roddy, you could really see the frustration on your face tonight. How did you alter this energy into the final stretch of the game? Yeah, just try to go to the next play mentality. I'm a very passionate guy, so it sometimes bleeds out. I need to, do better on that. I just wanted to have that next play mentality and just make winning plays. Get rebounds as much as possible, as well as, directing my teammates wherever they need to be. Stevens, you had 14 points going into tonight's game. How do you plan to use that energy in tomorrow's matchup?
It's a whole new game plan, whole new opponent. So can't really dwell on this one. Even though we won, it's on to the next game, and we'll come with hopefully a better approach.
Nico, I think they outscored you in the paint 16-8 in the first half, but came back and played them even in that regard in the second half. Just did any specific adjustments kind of lead to that?
I don't know. I mean, this was just a game where really neither team had anything going from the perimeter. And, it's funny, like different games take on lives of their own, and this was just one of those games. And, they were really aggressive, I thought, and I don't think, defensively we were very good to start the game. And they're a tough team to guard. They put you in difficult situations with both of their bigs being able to shoot that way, and they put you in tough coverages. And they were just really aggressive getting downhill. So I don't know if there's really any adjustments we made. I just thought we got a little bit tougher guarding the ball, a little bit tougher in the interior, and we rebounded a little bit better. I think they had 8 offensive rebounds early. Again, I don't have it in front of me, and I thought we just got enough rebounds down the stretch to get the job done.
You had played these guys twice, 2 close games. Just with that in mind, heading in, were you preparing for another tight one today?
Absolutely. Utah State is one of those teams that can compete with anybody near the top of the league, night in and night out. We knew it was going to be a dogfight going into it, and shout out to them. They're a phenomenal team, and I feel like this game is going to make us better down the stretch.
Okay, I think we're coming over here.
This is for both you guys. Justin Michael, DNVR. Chandler Jacobs had a kind of a tough sequence where he picked up his second and third personals on one possession after a couple offensive rebounds by Utah State. He had to sit for a while. What does it say about his character that he can then come into the game, make his first shot at the game with 1 second left?
Next play mentality. I feel like it just speaks volumes to who he is as a person, who we are as a program, and what we try to be as a program is move on to the next play. As long as there's time on the clock, you still have a chance to go make something happen, and he came in and came up with the biggest bucket of the night.
Yeah, he's just super resilient, bounces back, every single time. So, man, he's a big-time kid, and so I'm just a big-time dude because he gets upset when I tell him he's a kid. So, no, he's a great guy, and, man, I couldn't be more proud for him.
Kevin Lydol, Colorado, and you guys have played Utah State that's 6 times now in the last 2 seasons. Do these feel like they're becoming, every game is just almost like a rivalry? Obviously, they're not direct rivals like Wyoming, but has it got that feel to it now?
Yeah, I would say so. Again, they're a great team, a tournament team, for the past 3 years. So, we want to be at that level, and I think we can be. And so, yeah, every time we play them, it's always a dogfight, and, they give us our best, and we give them, their best. So, they're a great program.
Hustling.
We did have 2 mics, but one.
I know, all good.
For either one of you guys,
Good
when
hustle.
a game's played defensively like this, did it almost feel like every basket you went on a run, just even a single basket?
It definitely started to feel like that. It was a slugfest from start to finish. Just knowing that each and every bucket that we were going to have to really work for it on the offensive end, it just wasn't going to come easy. And I think that just screams March Madness at this point in the year. Both teams had each other scouted pretty well. Our typical actions don't get you the looks that we hope for anymore. So every basket was huge for us, and we were just able to make that one last one.
Do we have any final questions for our student athletes? Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Now we'll proceed with questions for our coach, Nico Medved.
Good work, fellas.
Nick, the more you've watched Isaiah play, do you just grow more and more comfortable with the ball in his hands in the final minute of a game?
Well, I mean, you've watched him here for 3 years, so I've seen it enough, and he had that look in his eye tonight, just, very, very confident. Swagger, he was able to get in the paint, and I think we obviously needed to get in the paint tonight. It was just one of those games, and I thought they did a great job on David tonight of, making his catches tough, of bringing help to the post, and so it was just kind of his night. And so, yeah, I've always had that trust in him, and he's been that way from day one. And, tonight was just another example, and the stage gets bigger and bigger, but it's never too big for him.
You mentioned early on the defensive, called timeout, I think, after that run-out dunk. They were getting a lot in the paint. Was there anything they had tweaked to get that, or did you feel there's some defensive lapses that were kind of leading to some of that?
I just, sometimes it was interesting. It's like in the first 4 minutes, I thought it was going to be like a 91-89 game. I mean, it was just bucket, bucket, bucket. Nobody was stopping anybody. And then, both teams, I think, really dug in. I don't know if it was a change in scheme. I thought it was just kind of a change in both teams and mentality. The game got a lot more physical. Again, because nobody really had it going from the perimeter tonight, it was just one of those games you're going to have to do a lot of dirty work. And so I think it was just that. Both teams just kind of, ramped it up, kind of brought a little bit more physicality to the game. I don't really know that it was anything as a change in scheme. It was just maybe a friendly reminder of what this game was going to be and what we needed to do.
There was nearly 10 turnovers and 10 lead switches tonight. How do you plan on changing that tomorrow and going into the semifinals?
I'll just turn it over less. No, I mean, again, and I don't know, I don't have the possessions in front of me, what it was. I mean, usually you can live with 10 turnovers in a game, and that's one of the things we've been elite at, this year in the country. We haven't turned the ball over. The bigger issue is we didn't share it enough. We probably didn't have enough, assists tonight, and a lot of that was them. They were switching, all of our action and really kind of got us standing around a little bit, which is, atypical for us, but what happens is in those games when it's a low possession game, half court, every turnover is magnified, and we had a couple of key ones down the stretch, and they did too. So I don't know that turning over the ball was big of an issue. I just think we didn't get into enough of a flow offensively.
Mark Kislett, Denver Post. You just mentioned about Isaiah, the look in his eye and the swagger. How important is that in a tight game, and especially at this time of year, that confidence?
Oh, it's everything, and you got to have it. And listen, I'm fortunate. I coach some great guys, some great players, and guys who work really, really hard and put in the work. I mean, David's the player of the year. Isaiah's an all-league guy. And at the quality of this league this year, to do that, you have to be a tremendous player. And Isaiah's that guy that's just come in from day one, freshman year, has been that guy. And he loves it. This is what he is dreamed about his whole life, so he's not coming in here nervous. He's coming in here, let's go, let's play, let's compete, and he's always brought that to our program, and so it's absolutely huge. You can't win without it.
Okay.
Chandler Jacobs is a guy who's played a lot of high-level basketball in his career, but this is his first season, obviously, at the D1 level. Talking to him yesterday, he just talked about how excited he was and getting to live this moment. What is it about him that's been able to be just such a seamless transition? I mean, it's hard to change roles like that.
It's just really who he is as a person. You guys have gotten to know him and spend time with him. He's just such a selfless young man. And, as a graduate transfer to come in here and not only accept, but just, willing to take any role just to be a part of this team. And he's helped us throughout the season win so many games. And I thought there were some nerves for some guys tonight a little bit. I know these guys enough to sense it, kind of fumbling the ball a little bit. And this is a little bit of a even though we've been in a lot of big games, this is a different stage. And I think we'll play a little bit looser, tomorrow, but it's a huge testament to him. And it all starts with his character of staying with it. He made a great cut to the basket and didn't hesitate at all and finished. And I think it's fitting that he made the winning basket.
Utah State, obviously, the last few years, NCAA tournaments, won a lot of games, in this tournament. Do you get a sense from your guys that, they kind of view Utah State as a team they, kind of want to match and surpass because of the success they've had?
Yeah, but I don't think it's just them. I think it's everyone. You know what I mean? I think these guys have a lot of confidence, but they have a ton of respect for all these teams. They know how difficult it is to win any of these games. And yeah, Utah State's a team that's been at the top of this league, and we've happened to play them in this tournament the last 2 years. And it's very difficult to beat any of these teams one time, let alone 3 times. And especially after Utah State got such a convincing win last night. And so, but yeah, I think this is one of the teams these guys look at like, hey, if you want to get where we want to get to, we've got to find a way to beat these guys. And we're fortunate to have done it 3 times this year.
Okay. Do we have any further questions for our coach?
Thank you.
Thank you.